Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast, episode 67. In this episode, I speak with Tahirah Nyanin. Tahirah is an actor, a DJ, a traveler, a socialite. She's even been on Wheel of Fortune. She does it all. It was amazing to have her come on and have a conversation, as it's been a while since we caught up. So thank you, Tahirah, for coming on. I really enjoyed our conversation. And the book of the episode, I picked the book Vagabonding by Rolf Potts. I picked this book because Tahirah and I talked a lot about travel. And this book has a lot of tips on how to travel on a low budget and just to get out there and experience the world. Again, the book is Vagabonding by Rolf Potts. If you'd like to follow our podcast for the audio version, be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to watch the podcast, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@thesamdeverpodcast. Now, here's my conversation with Tahirah. Well, Tahirah Nyanin, welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. It's crazy because I have this list in my head of people that I want to come on, but you can only do so many with time and work and all that. And thank you for the invite to your birthday party, by the way.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry I was unable to attend, but it looked lit.
It was really fun.
Yeah?
Yes.
So it was a 70s theme, right?
It was 70s theme, Studio 54 theme. Everyone came out dressed to the occasion, which I liked. And I think the best part was that everyone just had a good time. So yeah. I was just worried, did everyone have a good time? So yeah, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I love your friends. And everyone just mingled well. And then people were dancing. So that's good.
So was it 70s music the entire time?
No?
No?
At the beginning, there was 70s music. And then I like Afro beats. So I went to Afro beats and R&B. And then we did a Soul Train line. So then there were 70s. And then, so it was a mixture. I couldn't listen. I don't think I could listen to 70s all night. But I love disco. I do love disco music, yeah.
So what inspired you? You know what, for my birthday this year, this is what we're going to do.
So I wanted to do it last year, and I guess I'll just say my age. So I turned 34 last year, and so I wanted to do a playoff of Studio 54 and do Studio 34. And I just kept going back and forth, and next thing I know, I didn't have the party. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. It's not Studio 34 anymore. It's Studio 34 plus one, I guess. And it's just a good reminder, just if you want to do something, just do it. Just do it. And I'm so glad I did it. No regrets. It was great.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, that'd be cool to do something like that. But I mean, you just have to go out and do it.
Do it. Mm-hmm.
And it seems like, and again, I'm just going off the IG threads here, but you seem to be quite the socialite. Here in Los Angeles.
That's true.
But no, you're having a good time.
Yes.
Is there any certain social circles, or is it just different groups of friends?
It's just different groups of friends. I think that's just been my personality my whole life. I guess I grew up as an only child at first. And then my mom had my brothers when I was 10. But I just had to always, I guess some only child or introverted, but I guess I was the extroverted only child. So I always have been sociable, always had friends, different friends groups, even in high school. I've hung out with popular kids, I've hung out with non-popular kids. I just like talking to people. And so I guess I wouldn't expect anything less out here in LA. I actually had I had started something pre-COVID. What is the name? I can't even think of it. It was called I'm With the Media. And basically, I was the photographer, and I was also the interviewer, and I would get to go to all these events.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
This is before COVID?
It was before COVID. I did.
So you were going to Playhouse at the time.
Yeah.
While doing that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I get to go to some really cool events. I think there was one time I went to Rihanna had a party during Coachella. I was there, and Diddy and Lil Wayne had a party, and just taking really photos, and then COVID hit and just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But I thought about maybe I should go back to it because you get to meet new people and then also network with people that you want to be like too.
You know what? And Los Angeles is the perfect place for that. Because there's so many groups and social groups and circles, but it takes having that energy and that personality.
Yeah.
And it's not easy sometimes, like,
Yeah.
to force yourself. It sounds like you're pretty good at, like, you're comfortable walking into a situation where you don't really know anyone and then just meeting people.
I would say
And that's a skill.
Yeah, for the most part, I will. Sometimes I feel like it just depends on my mood. Sometimes, like I can walk in somewhere and just be okay by myself. And then people come and talk to me and be like, oh, I guess I'm approachable. So that's cool.
And the thing where you were I am the media, like, how did you find out about that? Like, how did you step into that? Like,
I think because I just wanted to like go to like exclusive events. I wanted to like get my way in. And so then I created this. I even had a website and everything like that.
oh, so you created it?
Yeah, I created
Whoa.
it. Because I guess I could have worked with other like magazines, but I was like, no, I want to do my own things. And so it stopped because it's just, it's just a lot. A lot was going on. So.
Well, that's cool. I had no idea that you did that. See, we've already made a discovery.
Yeah.
Now, I could be way off if I'm you're from the Midwest originally, right?
Born and raised.
Ohio?
Yeah, Columbus, Ohio.
All right, we got another Ohio. Eric, what part of Ohio are you from again?
Dayton, but then I lived in Columbus for 10 years.
Oh.
So Ohio State.
Oh, did we talk about this?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
I went to
born
Ohio
and
University.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
OU. OU, oh yeah.
Yeah, OU, yeah. Yep.
So born and raised
Mm-hmm.
in Ohio. What was that like?
It was interesting. I mean, people always think that Ohio is like full of cornfields, and I guess there is, but I didn't really see that much. Like, yeah, there's. I feel like I don't even know how to explain Ohio. It's just I had my family, I had my friends, community. I'm Nigerian, so we had like a lot of Nigerian events and stuff like that. Then I went to college and just a lot of partying, and then I left.
So you left right after college.
Left right after college.
Did you come straight here?
Went to Texas A&M for 2 years. Got my master's in public health. Then I lived in Houston for 1 year, and then I moved here in 2013. Got a job offer, and they were able to like pay for my moving and stuff, relocation, and been here 10 years this September.
Wow, now you have beaten every statistic with that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's probably pretty rare that people stay that long.
Yeah.
You think you'll keep staying here?
I'm glad this is a good question because like I've been thinking about that. Like this year I went to Arizona for like the first time, a couple times to Phoenix. Yeah. And I liked it. And then I started like looking at like the Zillows and like saw that homes are pretty affordable. And I was like, okay, it's actually pretty close to LA. It's pretty close to Vegas. I love going to Vegas. And I could always come back. So I'm thinking like, a couple of years, maybe buy a place out there. We'll see what's happening.
It's funny. I've been going there for work too this year. And I grew up going out there.
Yeah.
Because my aunt and uncle had a house out there. And then I lived in Tucson for a year before moving to Vegas then here. So I hadn't been there in a long time. And when I first went to Phoenix again, it's huge. Like LA's big, but Phoenix is like spread out.
Yeah, it's spread out.
But it's clean. It's nice. Like
no traffic.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, the traffic's gotten so bad here." I'm like, we deal with 405 and 101 constantly.
Yeah,
does get ridiculously hot.
I like hot weather.
So okay,
I do. Yes.
But yeah, no, it definitely. I think, but I have had a lot of people tell me that the prices have raised from what they used to be, but compared to
LA,
yeah.
No.
Is there a particular part of Phoenix that you would move to?
I don't know. But I just have like this vision. Like I've always, since I was young, like I just want like 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool in the back.
Every house has a pool there.
Yeah. So I'm just like thinking about it. And like, with acting, like everything, all my auditions have been self-taped this year. So I'm just like, do I need to be in LA? Do I really need to be in LA? And then maybe I can like, they have a market out there. It's not that big, but maybe I can do like regional things like that. It's still acting. So.
Yeah, I've actually heard of some actors, whether it was Phoenix or like exactly what you just said, that they're just doing self-tapes, so their cost of living's way less. And if they book a decent role, they're just going to come out and film for the role.
Yeah, and then I have friends out here, and I can just stay with them. So,
Yeah.
See, you're already like making me be like, yeah, maybe I should be.
It's so funny because I was talking to Eric about that before, because that's actually been on my mind too with LA. It's like, and there's parts about here that I love. Like I love, you can't get it anywhere else, especially the weather. You just, now that we're out of the June gloom, 'cause I don't know what was happening with that.
Yeah, that was
I'm like, look,
yeah.
a couple weeks of this is okay, but this has been going on for like a couple months. Like no sun. But now that we're back to that classic SoCal weather, I'm like, gosh.
Yep.
I don't know if I can give this up.
I know.
But
Yeah.
I am opening my mind to other places. There are other cities and experiences you can have. And like you said, you can always go back.
You can always go back.
Places. If you really don't like being somewhere, well, just.
Yeah. And I always hear that we're due for this big earthquake here. That's also like this gloom over me. Like, oh my gosh! Like, did you feel the earthquake the other day? Like,
what day?
Week? What day was that? I don't know.
I've felt a few. I've definitely felt a few while I've been out here.
But there was one like last week that was like at 4 a.m.
I did not.
And
feel
my
that
eyes
one.
just like shot open, like, because it was big. It felt. Yeah. I was like, ooh. So I'm like, I don't want to be here when that big one happens.
I always think like I'm on the 405, like in that crawling traffic. I'm like, if it happens right now, I'm in the worst possible, one of the worst, or like when I'm
right
under
over like the ramp.
the ramp, or if I'm down in a parking structure, like down below, I'm like, oh, if it happens here, I'm done.
That's terrible.
Now, would you ever consider going back to the Midwest?
No. That's easy, no.
Is the weather the main reason?
Weather's the main reason. It's just too cold. And I just feel like the West Coast life is just different.
It's a different vibe.
We're just like more relaxed. People in the Midwest are very nice. So I think, the West is good. The West is good for me. West is best.
West is best. What about like, well, I guess you ever consider San Diego or?
No.
Nah.
I think San Diego's a little chilly. When I was there, it's a little too cold because it's just really by the water.
Yeah, no, you are. What about Vegas? Would you ever consider Vegas?
Not before Phoenix, but I would. I like Vegas a lot.
Not
but
to
I think
make
it's
the
just,
pitch,
it's a little too transient. There's just a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would connect with people. Like,
and there's ways, but I guess the thing, because I've been thinking there's advantages to each place we name. Like the advantage to Vegas, I think, the lower cost of living, although not as much anymore because everyone from California is poured into there in Phoenix. But the thing about Vegas, though, distance-wise, you're 4 to 4.5 from Phoenix, and you're 4 to 4.5 from LA. Like you're equidistant to both of those. Where Phoenix to LA, the plane flight's easy. Burbank Airport's great. I highly recommend it. I love that airport. But the drive, 7.
It took you 7?
6 and wow, how fast were you driving?
It only took me 5 hours.
5 hours? You got from LA to Phoenix in 5 hours.
It's only 5
like
hours.
to the actual city of Phoenix. From here.
Yeah.
What time of day did you leave?
I can't remember, but I just remember it was a 5-hour drive, and on the way back was 5 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe I was just mapping it when it was high traffic times.
Yeah. Because I know like there's like some little areas like on the 10 where it has some pockets, but.
Okay, well maybe I've misthought this whole thing. So yeah, maybe you're right. So in Houston, what was your experience like there? Did you like that?
Houston was fun. That was, early 20s. I don't feel like I did anything acting relating. It was just all about, work and happy hours with my friends. And it was actually a really good experience. I have some really good friends there that like I've been part of their weddings. I've seen them have babies. And so they're like people that I, hold dearly close to me. So it was a good experience.
And so and that was probably smart of you to get your so you got your master's right after the 4-year. Just knocked it all out.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good move. Because I think it gets harder and harder the more like you just
Yeah.
I'll go get it here in a couple of years.
Yeah, but those loans though.
Yeah, the loans are real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to wanting to did you want to come to Los Angeles specifically to pursue acting, or when did the acting come into play in the arts?
Well, from the beginning of my life, like when?
Well, I guess let me rephrase the question. When did you first start getting into acting? And was that back in the Midwest? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I guess it was just part of my personality, like just like being on stage and stuff. So I think the first play that I ever was in was like when I was like 5, and we did like what's it called? Robin Hood? Robin?
Robin Hood?
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, Robin Hood. I remember like the cast. They were casting for, was it Mary? The girl. Mary?
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm thinking about the cartoon for some reason.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the cartoon with them looking like foxes.
Yeah. Fox and the Bear.
Yeah. I don't even want to say casted. It was like this day camp that I was at, and they were like, "Who wants to be Mary or something?" And then this other girl, I guess she raised her hand faster than me, and then one day she got in trouble for doing something that she wasn't supposed to do, and then I guess I was on the second backup, and so I got to be the supporting actor, I guess.
Supporting actor.
And so I've always done plays. Like whenever anyone comes over to my house, like I'd always like create a dance routine. Like that's just always me, like performance. So did that all like middle school, a little bit of high school, college, not so much. I think I just was focusing on school. But I just remember when I was 15 years old, like saying like, when I'm older, I'm going to move to LA. And people just being like, what? Like I'd never been to LA before. And so it's just, I guess that bug just bit me and it stuck with my mind. And so then I remember saying it, like, I was like, oh, in 2012, I'm going to move to LA. But like, I was broke, so I couldn't do it, but it was still in my mind. And then 2013, I got a job offer. They're like, we'll move you out to LA. I'm like, this is perfect. Moved out here and then slowly but surely got into it, started taking classes, and here we are now.
Wow. It all led to the Sam Dever podcast.
Yes, it did.
Well, and that's a huge advantage right there with your job, them paying for the move. Because I swear, I mean, when I first moved out here, I moved out here with my brother. Job let me transfer because that's moving to any city is difficult, but to a place like LA, I mean, shoot, what they want for a down payment and and the rent. What was rent 10 years ago?
I was actually living like I was downtown.
Oh, okay.
Like right on the outskirts of downtown, Westlake area. And so my rent was $1,400
for a 1-bed, 1-bath.
It was a studio, but it was a big studio, and it had a central AC. It had a washer and dryer. It was like one of those like combined ones.
Yeah.
Dishwasher. We had a fitness room, pool. And I could just like walk to downtown. That was before downtown became like Gotham City. Like,
that same unit is probably $3,000.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Easily.
Yeah. So downtown used to be pretty decent about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was lit. I remember just walking and going to restaurants and
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been down there like a few times.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's a little scary.
So then what, did you migrate to the Valley from there?
I went to Culver City.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to pay less rent, got a roommate, ended up quitting my job because I wanted to like just live my life. And ended up back downtown and then to the Valley. I moved to the Valley in 2018 and I've been here ever since. Yeah. I'm
a fan of the Valley, me personally.
Me too. I don't know why people like. I remember when I first moved to LA, I'm like, oh, the Valley's so far. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not that far. You get to know traffic, when to go.
It's a significant, and sure, there's a lot of traffic and people over here, but it's a significant difference, I feel, when I'm here and then when I go over the hill, like over to Hollywood. Hollywood, I don't even hardly ever
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I drove through Hollywood to get to here, and I was just like, the things I was like, what's going on out here?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I'll just keep that there. So from there, you were taking classes. Were you doing a lot of auditioning right off the bat, or was this something you worked your way into?
No, I had no idea like how to get an agent or anything like that. I think 2014 is when I first took a acting class for commercials, and so I was doing that, and then that was good because it really like helped my confidence and like knowing how to like do an audition. And I'd say by 2015 that's when I finally got like a commercial agent. And then I started taking like scene study at different places, but still didn't have like a theatrical agent. So that took a while to get one. But through then I was just taking classes. What else was I doing? I'm just living my life, traveling. You know, I think that I love to do acting, but it's just not my life. You know, I think you have to have other passions because, like, you know what we're dealing with right now with the strikes.
I see them every day when I'm driving past Universal.
The writers are striking, which means studio productions have been halted.
And
so
SAG's on strike too, right?
I think they're either on strike or about to be on.
Yeah.
But the studios aren't, production's been halted. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, just a good reminder to, not just have one thing to focus on, like have other hobbies, careers,
passions, interests, revenue streams.
Yes.
All of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, now that I just realized, like, it's a shame because COVID shut so much down for so long in that industry. And now, but I mean, I guess they're doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
Like just speak for me personally. Like I have the utmost respect. A lot of people that sit down on this podcast, like full blown going all the way with the acting, but I'm probably similar to you in the it's there, but it's not like my only, I haven't been doing anything in it for a long time anyway, but there's other ways I like to live my life. I just don't want to live by the, constantly waiting for an audition. And I'm the type too, like, I don't want to get a message like, hey, you need to do a self-tape and turn it in the next 90 minutes. Yeah. It's like, well, I had plans. But I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With that.
Yeah. Kudos to people who do that. It's a lot. Cause I mean, I feel like I'm stressed on my own, but it's hard. Cause it's like, you have to like, support yourself, provide.
Especially out here.
Yeah. So it's hard.
Someone posted the other day on IG. They said something about landlords are asking for 2023 inflation prices with 1970s appliances.
Oh my God.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But it's so true. I mean, it's just like to survive out here.
Make it make sense. It does not make sense.
Yeah. And I just don't ever... and again, when you're talking about buying real estate and things like that, it's like when you look at what your money can get you other places. I'm now starting to see the light on that front of it because it's like, wow, I could barely maybe get a condo one day out here. Or for a fraction of that, I can get a house with land and this and that. But it's like the magic question is where's that going to be?
Right.
Obviously, where we're from in the Midwest, you can have whatever you want. You just got to deal with terrible winters, tornadoes, and humidity, and all that stuff.
Just the weather.
Just the weather. But you can have it if you want it. So maybe, like you say, like maybe the Phoenix, Arizona's the happy medium there.
Might be.
I'm gonna be so happy when I see you post like in a moving truck, like it's been real LA. Like you'll always have a place. I'm like, I know it all started right.
Yeah, I mean, I was in escrow out here for some condos, and it didn't go through. But like, I'm glad it didn't go through because at that time, like, it was. I think you're supposed to live 30% of your income, or under 30.
A third.
Yeah, and I would have been paying like 60% of or more. It's just like, this is not the way to live. It is not the way to live. So It was sad when it didn't go through, but I'm like, I understand why it didn't go through.
Was that the same one you were telling me about the last time we met?
I think so, probably.
Oh, so that didn't end up.
It did not go through.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it did not go through.
And you're saying that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. It was a good thing. So, yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, first of all, down payments.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I am not a real estate expert, so no one listen to anything I have to say. But when I really start to like take a look at what it takes to get some of these things, it's like, oh, well, you can get a loan for your down payment. I'm going to take a loan for a loan, like,
Right?
And it's like the mortgage is still going to be sky high.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of people tell me, well, just you can get approved for the loan and this and that. I'm like, that's not the problem. It's like, I don't want to pay a $5,000, $6,000. I can't afford that anyway.
I'm like, why are y'all approving me for this loan? Like, this does not make sense.
So I think back when like it didn't cost it much, it made sense. You can buy up and let people move in and rent it out. But now it's just like, I just feel like they want everyone to be a renter. And I think it's quite obvious.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, okay, like here in LA, I feel like even when you have a nice steady job out here, I think I read somewhere, I totally could be misquoting this, but below 80,000's like the cutoff for poverty out here. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like 80,000, if you make 79,000, that's considered below the, like, it's just, it doesn't, like you said, make it make sense.
Yeah.
You know, but
yep.
I just justify it with the nice weather and all that good stuff. So,
That barely getting that weather.
Phoenix, definitely on the horizon. And I will say one last thing about Phoenix. There's like when I looked at the map of it when I was going there, I'm like, over here's Scottsdale, and down here's Gilbert, and then Glendale, and I'm like, okay, but when you actually drive it, it's like far.
Yeah, it's a little farther
out there. But like you said, like the traffic you deal with is nothing compared. It's more quiet.
Yeah.
It's clean.
But it's actually pretty lit too, like the nightlife there. Because like it's the #2 bachelorette party destination.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Probably Scottsdale, right?
Yeah, Scottsdale is. So I was surprised. Like, and I think I was worried like about, just being black. Like, and I saw plenty of black people there. Like, oh, they're here. So it has a little bit of everything. So. And
even their downtown, they seem to be revamping a lot down there too.
Yeah.
Been around. Yeah. And, downtowns are like any down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm realizing too. Like people talk about the homelessness in LA. Obviously, that's an issue, but all these other cities, everyone has it.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have that in any major metropolitan city. So
yeah. My mindset has just been on creating your happiness. Like, what does that look like? Creating my happiness. What does creating your happiness look like to you, Sam Dever?
I don't know. Tell me more about that. Tell me about that concept. Explain it to me. Maybe
I don't even know where to like start with it, but like I think maybe just like there are things that you just can't control. Can't control, like dating, right? And like there's people out here they want to get married and stuff like that, but like it takes 2 people to do that. So it's like, what can I control? And it's like, well, I can live somewhere that has cheaper rent. I know that I like to travel, so I can justify the cheaper rent to travel places and even travel more in style, luxury, try to get business class sometimes with the money that I'm saving. And just like doing things that make me happy. I don't want to just, be in LA just because till I'm 50 and being like, damn, like, why didn't I like leave? Why didn't I leave? Like, I could have came back, like leave, get that house. I know for me, generational wealth is important. Like, I don't have any kids yet, but like, if they do come, having that ready. So just being prepared. So yeah, just creating my own happiness. And creating my own happiness has a pool in the backyard. Like, that's my own pool.
So you know what you want?
Yes, I do. I sure do.
Yeah, you've opened a whole thread here in terms of creating my own. I'm still figuring that out too. And You revealed your age. I'm 36.
Mhm.
I'll be 37 in March, and it's crazy even to say. Like, I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, those
I
40s are creepy.
I remember when I was 12 and my mom was having her 40th or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like almost there.
Yeah.
And they had a
Yeah,
12-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that blows my mind when I start thinking about that. But it's like, it's a weird space. Like I'm the upper mid 30s at this point. It's like, it's a weird, I totally know what you're saying, because it's like, how much of, because like all my life I was like, I eventually want to make it out to LA. I see all these things on MTV Cribs back when I'm in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be out there and be with the actors and this. Well, now I've been out here, and now I don't even think about it anymore. You've lived here longer than me. Like, you just live here now.
I just live here now.
It's just home now.
Live here, yeah.
And it's great. But I know what you mean, because I do start to pause a little bit to be like, okay, how much of it is me actually wanting to be out here, or me just thinking I have to be out here?
Yeah.
For whether it's my own ego or because I said I was going to do it. Like you say, I mean, time's just going to keep...
It's going to keep going.
Going. And I'm like, if I'm not pursuing like the acting industry hardcore...
But even if you were, like, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee,
there's
right?
Really no guarantee.
And I know I want to go to Europe. That's one trip I've been have you been overseas travel, like anything like that?
I've gone to Nigeria.
Okay.
Many times, but I'm actually I booked a trip last week to go to Portugal
in
a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the time.
Yeah.
Just do it. My aunt said that she was going to be there with her family, so hotels provided for. I have a layover in Paris for like 15 hours. I'm like, yes, I'm doing this.
You just booked it. You're like,
I booked it. Yeah. I'm going to Thailand in November.
Whoa.
Like,
Man.
Just...
I'm going to be following your IG. Yeah. You're going to have to create a travel IG.
I should.
You probably should. 'Cause you do a lot of traveling.
I do. I do. And I'm trying to do more. I want to go to Europe next year too.
Yeah. Because you're right. It's like, because when you have the whole, one day.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I remember when I was 20 in finishing college, that was 14, 15 years ago. 14, 15 years from now, I'm going to be in my 50s. So it's like that time is going to keep going. And I think you uncovered something key, like knowing what you want and like taking a look at the lifestyle you want. Like, you want a pool.
Yeah.
But you don't need a mega mansion to have a pool. Where can I get a pool and get a decent house, but still be able to travel and do all that? Because out here in California, I would argue probably a lot of people are house broke. You might get that house, but you're not going anywhere.
You can't go anywhere.
The house might be pretty empty too. And now you're in how much debt and credit cards and all that. So I think you speak on something, especially people in our age range.
Yeah.
That I think needs to be talked about more.
I think so too.
Because I think a lot of us get trapped in this. Well, I said I was going to be out here. I got to stay out here.
Yeah. Till I make it.
Yeah. Whereas like, well, what is making it?
What is making it?
And it's not, again, making it's whatever you make it, right?
It is.
Creating your happiness. That's your campaign.
Yes. Always can monetize off of everything.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna look like a year from now. You've got like this creating happiness. You got like
it's
this.
It's gonna be a trip.
Yeah.
Create your own happiness trip.
You're gonna have like a sign in every country you're in. What's your favorite place you've traveled so far?
So far, out of the country or like
anywhere, like any could be U.S., could be out of the country.
That's a good question. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is like Riviera Maya, like Tulum, Cancun. But it might have been like just the group that I was with. I was in this travel group, but it was really fun. It was really, the water was like blue. Like I love like crystal clear water, and like food was really good. Actually, I went to Costa Rica this year, and I forgot I went to Costa Rica. Did you see that? True.
I don't know.
I guess I didn't really post that.
Did you go to Seattle at one point?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
I followed that one.
Yeah. Costa Rica. That was actually nice. It was just very like, I just felt like chill. Like I just felt at peace. I like the food, and I would go back to there. I'll go back there. Mm-hmm.
This may be a dumb question, but what do you like most about travel? Like, what do you like? Because I guess for different people, it's different things. I mean, I know people, they travel, but they bring their work with them. They work remotely, so they work where they go. Some people they stack the schedule with every single tour you can do. Some people just want to go to the hotel and do absolutely nothing and sit on the beach. So what's a travel trip like for you?
Definitely trying food. That's what I enjoy. I think I actually thought about this the other day. I was like, what do I like traveling about? I think I like the whole like experience, like going to the airport after you get past security. Now I have lounge access, so getting lit before the plane, the flight leaves.
What airline do you take?
I don't have like a
favorite
one.
Yeah,
but I just use my Amex, the Amex lounge. And then like the jitters before the plane takes off, and then it's smooth, and then you just sleep and watch movies. And then just getting there, and then like sometimes I just like look up at the sky, like especially when I'm in Nigeria, and it's just like you look, and then it's just like this is the same sky that's in LA that I'm looking at. Like what? Like it's just like this like mind, like because it feels like you're like in a different world when you're in a different country, even sometimes in a different state. But like it's just like wow, this is like literally the same sky that I look at, but it just feels like I'm in a different world, and it's just really interesting. So I do like to like lie by the beach. I like to do adventurous stuff too. So it just depends. Yeah. I don't like to do something every single minute, but a combination of relaxation and adventure.
I dig that. I had a guy, it's actually at the bank. I was talking about him I don't know how we got on the topic, Europe travel.
Yes.
And he said, oh yeah, no, I've done it. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I really want to do that. And he's like, hey man, if I can give you some advice, he's like, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not, but he's like, if you go for an extended period of time. He's like, there's a difference between visiting somewhere for 2 weeks and then going somewhere for 2 or 3 months and actually like living there kind of thing. Do you have any desire to do that? Like
I do, but it's like, how do I do that with work?
Right.
So, like, how does that work?
Yeah, I got to still pay rent.
Yeah. I've been trying to think of ways like, do I just take leave? Like, how does that work?
I know someone, I actually know someone they just told their job, like, hey, I want to take a leave of absence, and they bolted for like,
wow.
I think they ended up taking, and I could have this wrong. No, it was like over a month and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
They probably didn't get paid during that time, but they're just like,
that's fine.
I have a job when I come back. And
that's a big leap.
Yeah. Yeah. I also know someone that left for a trip, and they were gone 13 months. They just kept, they ended up picking up jobs in different countries.
Oh my God.
So yeah, part of me, and I'm like, man, am I getting out of that age range to do that? Like, could I still, because it sounds like a bunch of early 20s backpackers. It does.
I think, if you save, you shouldn't have to work,
Yeah.
And you work in sales.
Yeah, sales. So
I'm like, you can always come back and get a job in sales, or hopefully your job's waiting for you.
Yeah, and then part of me, Carl Schreier, who was on the podcast last, he had mentioned he was looking at jobs in Alaska, being a bartender in Alaska at some resort. He said he just wanted to find like the most random job ever and go to a cool place. And like part of me, like there is that allure. It's like, man, just something that just sustains me.
Yeah.
And just go enjoy the culture wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
I
feel like that whole like, we live one life. It's BS. Like, no, this is like my 7th life. But I've lived, like, just keep living your life.
Go unpack that a little bit. You mean like you've just had different life experiences and they're all their own thing?
Yeah, they're all their own thing. Just think, I guess I'll transition. I DJ.
I was going to get to that.
I don't know. Can I talk about that?
Oh, no, we're going to talk about it. I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's like, I came out here for my job, but also like for acting. And then one day I became a DJ. So it's like, there's some people that have the mentality like, oh, like, am I too old to learn? Like, no, you're not too old to be a DJ. Like, you can do it. You can learn it. So
Now, how did that happen? Because I remember, was that during COVID? I remember, you remember when COVID first happened, and you were the last Playhouse West performance I saw.
Yeah.
You and Ayana and Richard and Kamitra, that whole thing, which all you did brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Playhouse and Wolf.
Yes.
So I just remember all the actors and creators, everyone in LA. No one knew what to do because we were all home. Everyone just starts posting on their Instagram. And I remember that all day long. We're just watching people play guitars, and people that we didn't know play guitar, guitar, and acting monologues. And then all of a sudden I see you spinning. I'm like, whoa, what? So how did that happen? How did you get into DJing?
First of all, always loved music. I'm always like the iPhone DJ of my friend group. It's always like, Tahirah, play your music. Oh, can you play some music? And so it was in my mind that I've always wanted to take DJ lessons. And so there's a place called Scratch Academy. It was founded by Jam Master Jay. And they have it in New York, LA, Atlanta, I think Miami. And so they have a intro level class. It's like a 6-week class, level 1 and level 2. And you learn how to transition a song in those 6 weeks. And so that was my goal, just to kind of like, a party trick and just like DJ for my friends and family. And then I ended up being like, oh my gosh, I really like this. I could actually make a career out of this on the side, or actually this could be the career. Maybe that's what I should do when I travel, like become an international DJ.
There you go. Just have a house based in Phoenix. Sky Harbor Airport's right there. It'll take you anywhere you want to go.
Do you want to manage me?
We're coming up with the business plan.
I know. Yeah. So I was just posting little things by little. And I remember people being like, yeah, I used to see you post, but I didn't really think that, it was like a serious thing. And then I was like, oh, she actually could DJ. I was like, yeah. And so I did like a 6-month program. And then I told my aunt that I would DJ her birthday party. That was in 2021. And that was like my first gig in Atlanta. And it went really well. And just, I've done like a bar in Santa Monica, some private birthday parties. My next goal is to get on TikTok and post more and see where that takes me.
You did Vegas too, didn't you? Didn't you do a gig in Vegas?
No, I didn't do it in Vegas.
Okay. I thought I remember an ad or something. You were in Vegas. I can't remember. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I saw Usher in Vegas, but
oh,
yeah, but that would be cool. A pool party in Vegas to DJ. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's when I was in Vegas, I had a couple really good friends that DJ'd, and it's its own art form. It's its own thing, its own energy.
Yep.
And like it really, there's nothing like. I mean, shoot, I was at a Korean. Shout out to Jin Korean Barbecue in San Diego. They had brought a DJ in for the night I was in there. He was killing it. He was playing everything from our 10, 15 years back, old school hip hop, like all the good hits. I had to go up and say something. I'm like, dude, you killed it. Like, I think a lot of people think, oh, you just push buttons. It's like, no, like so can you talk about that? Like, I mean, coming in with a set list and a style and.
Well, I mean, there are some that just push buttons. But what I really liked about Scratch Academy is like they taught us how to like listen. Because there's like it's called a controller. So like there's like a sync button, like if you have one song playing, you can sync the BPM, which is beat per minute, to match the other song. But like what they teach us is like, no, you can actually like hear it and then like adjust the I don't even know like the things to spin. Can't remember the name of them right now. But like the wheels, like you could like nudge the wheels a little bit. And then, or like pull it back. And that's how you can like blend in the music. And so there's some DJs that they just kind of like don't blend. But like when you actually blend in the music, you can like literally like see people's like, they'll turn and be like, oh, like, what is that? Like, oh my gosh. And then like you can see them getting excited with like when the music changes. And, you have to have like a list kind of like of what kind of vibe you want, and then you have to look at the audience too. Are they vibing to it? Like not just playing what you want to hear. So sometimes you have to take from from your crates. That's what they call them. And pull in the other music into that set list that you kind of come up with. Sometimes just forget the set list and just go with what people are vibing to. So that's how you do it. Mm-hmm.
So there's times where you may have come in with a set list and you're saying, yeah, this crowd's not really.
Yeah.
Let me, and then adjust it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Basically. Yep.
And then DJ Flower Child. Correct?
Yes.
How'd you come up with that name?
So I guess like, how I'd have my 70s theme party because I'm into like disco and I feel like I'm like a free spirit.
Yeah.
Free spirit.
Traveler, free spirit.
I'm a free spirit. I feel
Artist.
I feel like I'm just like a flower child. That's like, from the 70s, just somebody just goes with the wind. I guess I'm an air sign. So I'm just an airy type of person. just all over the place. So that's how I came with it.
Now, have you made your own mixes and put those out? Have you done any of that?
I have made some mixes. Some have been from earlier, so I kind of need to revisit them. Just get a little organized and go back and put my mixes out. Yeah.
I can see it now. You're going to get a residency in Scottsdale.
What I was going to say, DJing did open up another, pathway with acting. Because, like I said, don't make acting your life. Now I do auditions for like being a DJ. Like we're looking for a real DJ. And so many times I get sent things from my friends. They're like, oh, did you see this? Like, we know that you're a DJ. And so in February, I submitted to something that was looking for a DJ. And so I booked it. So now I'm going to be on a show on HBO.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's called Rap Shit.
Wow.
Am I allowed to say
Yeah, you can say whatever the hell you want.
It's called Rap Shit. And season 2, I don't know when it premieres, maybe September.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah. And I'm playing a DJ. And so I got screen time. It was good. It was
Look
nice
at that.
to
We're
see.
just talking about acting, whatever. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm going to be on an HBO show.
I guess I was just like low key about it.
That was real low key. Well, congrats. You said you have filmed or you're going to film?
I already filmed it, yeah.
It comes out,
Yes.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
What was that
assuming
experience
September?
like filming?
So I thought I was actually going to be really DJing. So I was like preparing a set list, like, oh my gosh. And like, cause I'm like into like, Afrobeats, like I said, like I like pop and like dancing music. And so this show was like about like hip hop. So I was like, oh, I need to find like some like trending music and like, and then when I got there, they had a laptop there. They had everything. They just had like the screen of like Serato, like the software that we use for DJing. I was like, oh, like, there was no music played like at all. So it was good. It was good. It was like I wouldn't say it was a co-star role. It was a featured role. Yeah.
Now, will you be credited as your DJ name?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No.
Okay. You can use that to your advantage, though, obviously, for your packaging.
I sure can.
So, when you go to the Scottsdale Club for the residency, like, hey, I was featured on HBO here.
Yeah. So when on the casting, it said they're looking for a DJ. So when I got there was like a couple people. And they were like, oh, where's the DJs at? I'm like, DJs? And then they brought all these people out. Because it was like, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't like talk about the show.
Oh.
Like, I didn't sign an NDA or anything like that. But it was just like a scene where they had somebody was performing and then another person was performing and then there was a headliner performing. And so they needed 3 DJs. But there was like 6 of us. And then they were like, oh, the rest people can be like, you could just be in the audience. And I'm like, no. I came here to be a DJ. And like, I pulled the producer aside. I was like, I'm here to be a DJ. He's like, oh yeah, you're going to be DJing for the headliner. I'm like, okay. I'm like, no, like I'm a DJ.
I'm a DJ.
Like, yes, I'm getting the special DJ rate. Like I'm going to be over here by myself. Like, and so I did it. So yeah, you got to like advocate for yourself too.
So yeah, this whole brand and genre, who knows what this can open up for you, all different types of opportunities.
Yeah. No pressure.
Do you have a favorite DJ or DJs that have inspired you or that you follow?
I like DJ Night Train. He DJs like with Dreamville, like J. Cole. I don't know if he's actually DJ for J. Cole, but like yeah. I like Selection. I don't know if you're familiar with
I'm not
them.
as familiar.
But it's just like really, I like how people like mash up different types of music and just like, oh my gosh, this is really good. I'm trying to think of who else. There's a DJ named Vashti that I've followed. She's Pharrell's ex-girlfriend.
Really?
So like, she's one of my inspirations about DJing and being a female DJ. Yeah. I'm on TikTok all the time. So I just love watching different DJs do the mashups. I'm like, oh, wish I would have thought of this. This is great.
Is that where it's at for the DJs on
It
social
is.
media?
It is. And people are getting booked from there. So I'm like,
Wow. So
I
it's
need to hop on that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you practice a lot, or is it something comes in spurts? Like
It comes in spurts.
Yeah.
It comes in spurts. But yeah, I need to be more focused.
yeah, that's incredible.
I keep saying I need to. It was like, I'm gonna get to it. Like I got some time.
Well, it's been fun to watch your journey just through the social media lens because, again, yeah, you literally posted your journey from when you first started out, and then all of a sudden you're booking gigs and doing this here and there. I didn't even know about the HBO show.
Yeah.
So
I guess I didn't tell anybody because I was like, I don't know when it comes out or.
You definitely need to promote that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I better be seeing some type of post with an HBO.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's cool. Like you really have shown, like if you really want to go do something and pursue it, it's like, go do it.
Yes. That's me. That is me. I live to inspire. I think I was in my bio on Instagram. I live to inspire. So
what advice would you give to whether they wanted to do DJing or they're just like something they've always wanted to try, but they're holding themselves back to doing it? What would you say to them?
Honestly, like perfection prevents progress. There's just so many people that's like, I'll do it when I do this. I'll do it when I have this in order. And it's just like, no, just start now. Like if you don't start now, then it's just like, I think people think that they need motivation to start something, but starting something is the motivation. Yeah.
I love that. I've always heard like analysis paralysis, but say that again. Perfection
prevents progress.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. I wish I came up with that. I don't
Triple
know.
P.
Yeah.
It was actually, I believe, Jim Jones, I saw in an Instagram clip, said, you don't get motivated and go do something. You start doing something and then motivation comes. That hit me like a ton. I'm like, that's so true. Because there's so many times you're like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But then you just start doing it.
Yeah.
And then you just start getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the motivation comes. But
Yeah.
if you're waiting for motivation, you're never going to do it.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So that's my inspiration.
Yeah, that's an IG clip right there. We're gonna make that one viral.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah. Anything else with DJing? Any other thoughts?
No.
Are you just gonna continue on? Continue to hone in on your craft.
Yeah, I have a gig next month from something that I did last year. They liked what I did, so that's pretty much me right now. Like some people like, oh, they know I DJ, and they're like, okay, I want to hire you. So, yeah, just me wanting to personally get better at like promoting myself and reaching out, and yes, not trying to be perfect to prevent any progress.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I dig it. And then you talked about shifting back to the travel thing a little bit. You've been in Nigeria, you said several times.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
What do you want to know?
I want to know something. What's it like?
It's a little chaotic, depending where you're at. So my family's from Lagos, and it's very busy. I would compare it to like New York City. Just a lot of people, a lot of It's very fast paced. But it's wonderful. It's like it's my people. It's like I feel at home. Food is amazing. Sometimes things could take longer to get things done there. That's just, I don't want to say like island time, but it's just like things are just a little bit slower sometimes. But it's just, music scene is popping.
Yeah.
Creativity's popping. I feel like Nigeria, Africa as a whole is just getting like the love and respect that it's always deserved. So people are really, knowing about Nigeria and flocking there to visit. And it's good times.
Yeah. And where is it located on the continent exactly? Like between
West Africa.
It's West Africa.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. So that's the side closest to facing us.
Yes, facing
United
America.
States?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm all turned around.
Yeah.
I've actually heard from a couple people that like a lot of startup tech companies and other it's like you just said, like it's been slept on over there, but they're like, oh no, it's like popping over there.
Yeah, it's like real life Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often how many times you go, like every few years, every couple of years, or?
I feel like I go there every other year, every 2 years, usually for family members, something, celebration of some sort. So the last time I went there was 2021. Had COVID.
Oh, you got it there?
I got it on the way or before there, but it just wasn't caught. Like it was not caught. And then I got there and I was like, I was feeling sick. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. I was just in bed like for 6 days. Finally, the wedding came and I was able to participate in that, but it was just, it was a lot.
No, that's usually how it happens, is on the travel.
Yeah.
With the COVID.
Yeah, I'm sure I infected a lot of people on that plane. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I remember being on a plane and you could just feel the COVID. I could feel it. Like I could, and then like people next to me just like,
oh my God.
I just remember sitting there like, yeah.
You're going to get it?
Yeah, and then I got it. I don't know if it came from that.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it came from that, but.
And everyone's like, oh, the plane is so clean with the filter. And it's the cleanest place to be. I'm like, what?
I do not buy that whatsoever. Look, when you're sharing cabin space like that, there's no way in heck. Like, you're breathing right next to me. Like, there's no.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wipe down. I'm like, look, I get it, but no.
So nasty.
Yeah, there's been a few. There's a few. Airports is one of them where like I just feel. I feel I felt that way before. Before I'm like, shoot, I probably should have worn a mask on a few planes before COVID hit.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's been a few times where when I was wearing a mask on a plane, and like this person's coughing and hacking. I'm like, this isn't good. I'm like, this is if we're getting it this trip,
Terrible.
Isn't it crazy? It's crazy. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I had this thought today. Within 3 years, I mean, isn't it crazy what we've been through? Like, not to beat down a dead horse with this topic, but I actually like sat and think to 3 years ago, or even like when we last met, which was maybe a year and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Something like that. When it was still pretty, we can do stuff, but not really type of thing. And should we still meet up with people at this point to like be where we're at now, where for the most part, things are back to some degree. But it's like, I feel like that trauma is still kind of there. Maybe with some people more than others. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
So I kind of take some moments sometimes like, hey, wait a minute. Just like a year and a half ago, it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
So it makes me think, it's like, oh, this could happen again.
Oh, yeah.
Or something else. So get your traveling in.
I know. I'm like, I'm sure something's on the horizon. Like, I would not be surprised. Like, yeah. And I feel like our generation has experienced a lot. A lot. Because I'm like, I don't feel like our parents had to deal with some type of like pandemic like this. No, like.
I mean, maybe the Vietnam War or some war type stuff. But as far as affecting everyone, no, not like this. The world. Shoot, I was thinking I got to get my passport renewed. How long does that take, by the way? I'm seeing like someone that would know the answer to that question.
Well, I'm very last minute. I've had to do like.
You do the rush passport?
I had to do rush. Like,
how much is that? Do you know?
It was in the hundreds. It was very expensive. I do not recommend. So
do it the regular way.
Yeah, do it.
Wait the 2 months.
If you have time. Do you have time?
Yeah, I got time.
Yeah, get on it. Get on it like ASAP. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, I feel like we've had some traumatic like 9/11 like.
Oh yeah.
It's just like what? Like what was like? It's just like our lives just a lot of trauma.
Well, and think about this too. We had social media introduced. So we're really the last generation of people, I think, that got to live a good amount of life without social media and smartphones.
Yeah.
By the time high school got the flip phone, I didn't even get a smartphone till later in the 20s, but I had a BlackBerry, I remember, in college. But that's when, and then Facebook, it was just Facebook or MySpace. And like you had to upload pictures by like taking a real camera with you. It wasn't like now where you just take it everywhere, everything's recorded and everything, because thank God. Some of my college nights, oh thank God, live didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
Probably for many of us. So to go through that transition, and now we're in this tech era where the kids now, they're just growing up on an iPad and growing up through, now AI's coming into the picture. That's another thing, AI getting introduced to everything. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. I never really thought about it, but there's been a lot of stuff thrown this way, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot.
So go travel.
Yes.
I think that's the theme.
That is the theme.
And you are right. I'm glad you said that, because there's going to be things in the world all the time that we can't control. It's going to be messed up. It's going to be hard. It's going to be painful. We're going to die no matter what. Hopefully everyone gets to live a pretty good length of time, but you got to make things work for you.
Yeah.
Really. I think a lot of people may not, and I myself included, I've actually paused like, what do I really want? Am I just still doing some things because I said 6, 7, 8 years ago that's what I was going to do? Yeah. Do I even still like doing that anymore?
That's true. That's true.
You know? So thank you.
That's what I'm here for, to inspire.
That's what you're here for. Anything else? Anything, other news, updates, any other topics?
I don't know. Oh, did you want to know about my Wheel of Fortune experience?
Thank you. I knew I was forgetting something. Because, so we talked about that the last time we had met up. Okay. So Wheel of Fortune. Yes. You went on the show. What happened?
I did. Do I need to provide, like, the process?
I'm curious how you even... Yeah, how did that come about?
So my friend knows a casting director, because there's actually casting directors for game shows. And they reached out because they actually were looking, they were like, we need more African-American contestants. Well, okay. I actually love Wheel of Fortune. Like, I've been watching it. I'm good at solving puzzles. And so I did like the first initial interview, like a personality test. And then they're like, if we're, interested, we'll do one with the producer. We're going to play a little game. Did that. I did very good on that. And I didn't hear anything. That was like in October. And then I was like, dang. Because I had tried out for other game shows. I'm like, this is just another game show that I'm not going to get. I'm like, why do I keep doing this to myself? And then January came around and like, oh, you're booked. I'm like, what? And so...
and where do they film this at?
They film this at... Sony Studios.
Culver City?
Culver City.
Okay.
Yeah, where that like rainbow thing is. Yeah. That's so went there and they put us in the room that they film Jeopardy. So that was like bittersweet, because like Alex Trebek had just passed away. Like,
Oh.
yeah, so it was a little eerie actually.
Yeah.
But it was just like cool, like being on the Jeopardy set, and they had like they do 6 shows in one day.
Whoa.
6 shows.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
Jeez.
6 30-minute shows. So it was a long day. Started like at 7 a.m. And then we're there just like, basically they wanted us to go over like, if it's what are you doing, it's probably going to have an ing in it. Like braiding my hair. So there's going to be an ing. Like if you know about, just different things like what's I before E except after C?
I before E except
like
after C,
just things like that, and like what to look for.
So they're prepping you.
They're prepping you because they want you to do good. Because it looks good for them. It's good for their advertising.
Yeah.
So it's all about money. And there were 6 groups, and I just knew, I was like, I do not want to be in the first group. I do not want to be in the first group. They draw names, and I was in the 5th group. I'm like, yes. And then like they had like a stage, like I don't even, like in a semicircle. I was like, I want to be in the middle. And then I was in the middle. Like I just got everything that I wanted. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going well. I could barely eat because I just, when I get nervous, my stomach be turning. So like they had a nice catered breakfast, nice catered lunch. And then finally it was time for my episode. And I did really well. I made sure that I was really slow when I talked because I was just like, I don't want to mess up anything, get the wrong pronunciation. And so, yeah, I won a boat trip on a houseboat. It's a houseboat in, I think in Minnesota. And then I ended up winning like $20,000. Yeah. And then I went to the final bonus round because I made the most money. Fortunately, I didn't get the last bonus.
What was the last bonus?
A cool dude.
A cool dude.
Yes, I saw the A and the cool, but I couldn't get the dude part.
Oh, what happens if you would have won that?
Oh, I would have won a car.
Oh, wow.
I would have won a car. Mm-hmm.
Did you go on the boat trip?
I did not, actually. So I forfeited it because they only had like a certain dates available. They didn't work. Some of them didn't work. And then they said something about like, oh, there's a lot of bugs, and I do not like bugs. Like, I just imagine. And then like we had to steer the boat. Like think of an RV on water. And it just did not seem good. Like it was just gonna be me, my mom, some of my friends, just a bunch of black girls on this boat. Like it just did not seem good. A good idea. Just like a horror story. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing it. So decided no.
Did they give you something else, or did you just have to give it up?
Unfortunately, no. I think in the past they would like give you the money,
like a cash voucher or something.
So I'm glad because I was like, I didn't want to pay taxes on it because you had to pay taxes on the trip.
Well, you're telling me you got to pay taxes on that trip?
Yeah, like the total value. So the cash plus it was like a $9,000 trip.
You would have had to pay taxes on that. That's so ridiculous.
So I was just like, nah. But yeah, had a premiere party with my friends. It was fun. It was good times.
So was it exactly how you thought it would be when you were on the show?
It went by fast. Pat Sajak is very nice. Very nice guy.
Is he like what he's like on TV?
Yeah, he be joking a lot.
Now, Vanna White, was she still on the show? Or
she's still there.
She's still there.
Mm-hmm. And all her dresses. And then what else? I think like the set is just smaller. So like at home, you're like yelling at the people. But like you can't see the. You know what I'm saying? Like if something's like in front of you, you just don't see it that well compared to like. I don't know if there's a name for it. I don't know if there's a name for it.
So when you see it on TV, it's like right in your face. But you're saying like when you're on the set, like looking at it, it's probably a lot more going on. It's probably harder to concentrate too.
Right. There's an audience. There's cameras everywhere. So like I would say like if we're standing here, it was like even a little bit past there. So it's just like a little bit hard. It's just hard to see versus when you're watching TV and you can just see it better. So it was good. was good. Good times.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is that, would you go back again? Would you do it again?
So, unfortunately, you could only be on Wheel of Fortune once.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
It's a
truly-
once in a lifetime event.
Wow. So you really made really the most of it. I mean, you left pretty well off.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The woman next to me did not do well at all. Like, there was how familiar are you with Wheel of Fortune?
I mean, I used to watch it
Yeah.
a little bit.
There's a round, I can't even remember what it's called, but where it's basically where like words pop up and then whoever buzzes in first gets to like say the puzzle.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what that's called, like a something round, like a pop-up round or something like that. And so they usually have a theme. And so this was like, the theme was Steven Spielberg movies, but they didn't tell us it, but like you could just kind of see. And so the thing that was popping up was War of the Worlds, that movie. And she goes, War of the Horses. And I knew it was War of the Worlds, but like she wasn't making any money. So I actually did not press it because I was like, oh, let her finally get something. No, just messed up. And so then I just cleared the whole category.
Wow.
Like it was funny because there was one that had 4 letters and then they just put the S up and I just clicked and I was like, Jaws.
Dang.
They were like, what? So yeah, that's
You really owned your moment.
I did. I did.
And now, what's the after show like? Like when you won 20 grand.
Yes.
How does that work? Here's your check, or they mail it to you?
They mailed the check. I think it was 180 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, like 6 months.
Jeez.
something like that. Yeah, it's
They
after
probably-
it airs plus like 3 months. No, after it airs, I think 3 months. Yeah. So it was
Did
180
it come
days.
already taxed? Do they already tax, or do you have
Nope.
to claim that
Had
yourself?
to do that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. Good
Yeah,
experience.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you had it. You know, it's funny you're talking about casting directors for the shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the Steve Harvey show.
I think I saw that. I don't know
Yeah.
if I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah. They found me on Bumble. Like that's because it was a dating segment.
Yeah.
I thought it was complete. I go, there's no way. But the way the person had worded it, I'm like, well, this seems pretty legit. Like, and because she was just like straight up, like, hey, you know, I'm casting for the Steve Harvey, and I'm in LA.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I'll just see. And I sent
Yeah.
the email. Next thing you know, I'm getting
Yeah.
a professional email from the Steve Harvey show.
Wait,
taking
is that
a
film in
phone call?
Chicago?
No.
Oh,
No,
filmed
they
out here?
right down here at Universal.
Okay.
That's where he used to film it. I don't know where they're doing it now. Because I know
it got canceled.
It got canceled. Now it's Steve. I don't know where he films that at.
Because I think something went to Facebook or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I used to watch that show.
Yeah, it's
a
a
lot.
popular show.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I saw that segment, but like I didn't know you then. So it never like, and then I saw the clip again. I'm like, oh, I've seen this episode before, but I didn't know you. So you know what I'm
so
saying?
you're saying you saw it before you even met me?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So, but of course I didn't recognize you. Like,
Yeah, it was. I did get recognized by one particular. I was in a doctor's office actually, and they start pointing at me and go, "He's the one." I'm like, the one? What? They're like, you were on the Steve Harvey show. I'm like, people watch that? I guess they do. Like, but like, I just bring that up to say, like, it is interesting to go on those things.
Yeah.
Like, because you see them on TV all the time.
yeah.
Then to actually go on it. And I know I wasn't doing a game show, but I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
because people watch it on TV. Oh, that's easy. Just when you're there
Yeah.
and there's people and there's
Yeah.
lights and you get asked, like,
Yeah.
it's a different thing, but it's
Yeah.
cool.
That's
So you're
a
gonna
cool
do
experience.
you're gonna do Prices Right next.
I think I can, because I think there's like a wait period. Like if you've been on a game show, you can't be on another game show for like some time. But I think I could. I would do Prices Right.
So you know what? After this is like tying in this whole conversation. You've lived a really interesting life.
Lives.
Lives. I mean, you've gotten you paid your dues in the Midwest, like we all did here in this room, and then you know you got the education, and then you headed out west,
Yeah.
pursued acting.
Yeah, I do. I did it.
You know, you've traveled.
Yeah.
You found a new hobby. Now, I wouldn't even call it a hobby, a new career path in DJing.
Wow.
And you travel, and then, you know, eventually you're going to get that 3-bed, 2.5 bath with a pool in the back
Yes.
house in Arizona. And just have that passport just all stamped out.
Yeah. Wow. Look at you just narrating my life. Like,
No, it's refreshing to hear. It's like, because it's like, I don't think people realize that you can do these things.
yes.
Like you don't have, and
like I don't have anybody in the industry. I have 2 immigrant parents. Like, just did it. Yeah.
yeah. And you also, I had someone tell me, it reminds me of what you said about lives. Guy told me one time, he's like, look, life is like a video game. Like you can restart this thing and do something completely different. I don't know if that was the exact analogy, but basically you can start over anytime. You don't have to continue. If there's a certain path you're going, you don't have to follow through on that. There's no shame in it. There's no nothing. If there's something else that speaks to you,
don't be afraid to pivot.
Yeah, pivot. There you go. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that inspiration this evening.
You're welcome.
On the podcast. Is there anything else? Any other? Are we pretty much caught today? We're gonna have to catch you for part 2.
We'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah, live from Scottsdale. But anyway. So thank you so much for coming on. I always, before I give you the last word, where can the people follow you?
They can follow me on IG and TikTok, Flower Child World. There's no vowels. So FLWRCHLDWRLD.
Okay, it's the same on both of them?
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll look out for those TikTok.
Yes. Those mashups
DJ
are coming
mashups.
soon. Yeah.
And I always give the guests the last word. What would you like to? You've been pretty inspirational. So you've said a lot of inspirational stuff. So it can be anything. It can be a movie you saw. It could be. What do you want to leave us with this podcast?
Last words.
Yeah.
Probably the quote that's on my wall. Your Monday's coming, which means just like, you know, that day that you've prayed for, that you waited for, that you hope for, it's coming. So it could be your Monday, your Tuesday, but your Monday is coming.
All right, hold on, I got to think about that for a second. Your Monday is coming.
Yes.
So in essence,
that Monday where you get that good news of I got the job, I booked the role, all these good things are coming.
Monday's the start of the week. That's when they.
Yeah,
oh wow! I've never heard that one before.
We always look at Mondays like, oh, Mondays, but like, good things happen on Mondays.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Tahirah, thanks for coming on. This has been a great conversation.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and I look forward to seeing your lives unfold.
Thanks.
On Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you so much.
Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Sam Dever podcast. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you watch the podcast, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@the Sam Dever podcast.